Hello everybody, it's Keren here from tuppencecoloured.co.uk and thank you very much for joining me for another Celebration Saturday. Now, if you're new to Stamping Up and you don't know what Celebration is, well, every year between the beginning of January and the end of March, Stamping Up run a fantastic promotion which they call Celebration, and during that period, for every £45 worth of product that you purchase in one transaction, you get to choose one thing from the Celebration catalogue for absolutely free. Okay, and every Saturday during Celebration, the project that I'm sharing with you will feature something from the Celebration catalogue, and I am super excited today because we've just gone live with a supplement and we have 3 new items that you can choose, as well as ones that are in the main Celebration catalogue. Now, I'm just going to tease you with that for today, but if you've got, 3 of everything that's in the main Celebration brochure, well, now you've got some more things to choose from. And if you have got 3 of everything that's in the Celebration catalogue, then you really ought to think about becoming a demonstrator, because also during Celebration there is a really good joining offer. If you join Stamping Up before the end of March, as well as your normal starter kit, which is completely customizable, you just choose, you just choose what you want to be in there, but you can also choose 2 free stamp sets, as well as the normal, your normal kit. So if you want to know more about that, get in touch with me. Right, so what am I making today then? Well, I've gone from the main catalogue and I am using this stamp set, the Tasty Trucks, and I've actually been inspired by this little this little item over here. So I'm going to have a go and see if I can make something a bit like it. Here's what I'm using today. As well as the Tasty Trucks stamps, I have Memento ink, I've got some Whisper White card, I've got a scrap of clear acetate, which I just cut from a packing material, and I've got one of our clear Tiny Treat boxes. And as well as those, I'm going to be using my watercolour pencils. To save time, I've stamped and coloured 1 copy of the truck, and I've put the sentiment "You're the sweetest" down the middle there. Now I need another one, but if I make an identical copy of that, if I try to stick them onto the little box with the printed and coloured bit on the outside, they're going to wind up going like that. Okay, and I want them going like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of reverse stamping. Now I've set my stamp press up already with the truck, and I'm just going to open that up, and I'm going to be stamping onto this piece of clear plastic. Now it's just something that I cut off a piece of packaging. Okay, so it isn't anything special, and the reason why I'm using my stamp press is that I want to get this as inky as possible. So I'm making sure that its plastic's firmly stuck down, because it has a tendency to lift up, and I'm using Memento ink. So now another reason for using the stamp press, and I know they're not cheap, but they are getting more affordable as more companies start carrying them. One is that this stuff is slippery, so I don't want my image to slip around, and if I was doing this with just my ordinary clear blocks, that would be a risk. Okay, and the other reason is I want this to be as inky as it possibly can be, so having stamped it once, now I'm going to do it again, and because that's going to be in exactly the same place, then I'm just going to bring that in, then I won't get a blurred image. Alright, now whenever you do reverse stamping, the image is never ever as clear and as pristine as you get from using ink on stamp the first time, but we'll try and get it as good as we can. I've got an extra bar magnet in there on my MISTI. Let's put that on one side. Right, so now I have that image onto my plastic, and I'm just going to use this like a stamp. So I'm going to pop that down onto my Whisper White, and I'm just going to press, and I'm making sure that I always keep one hand, oops, because that's what I didn't want to happen, but never mind, I think that's good enough. Okay, so actually that's not bad, and if I hadn't blurred it, it would have been even better. Alright, but for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to live with that. I went back and I did the truck again because it was a bit more blurred than I liked, but that's actually not a bad impression at all, so I'm quite happy with that. And I also stamped in the word thanks, and as you can see, these are now mirror images of each other. I just have to colour this one in, so I'm going to be using my watercolour pencils, and I'm going to start with the basic grey, and I'm going to speed this up, so give you some music to listen to. Next step is to cut these out. Now it's up to you whether you use a craft knife or whether you use scissors. I'm a scissors girl, but I am going to use my craft knife just to give me a start in these window panels. So I'm just going to put a crisscross in each of these, and that then, I hope, will allow me to get my scissors in so that I can cut these panels out. And I'm doing this before I do the rest of the cutting out, because it gives me something to hang on to while I'm doing my cutting. Now, if you are brilliant with a craft knife, or even if it's your preferred implement, then by all means do go ahead and do this with a knife. I am just not that good with a craft knife. I'm a scissors girl, and I feel happier doing my fussy cutting this way. So just take your time, move the paper, not the scissors. And there you go. Okay, I'm going to fast forward through the rest of it, and I'm going to do the same on this one, and I will be right back. Cut out both sides of my truck, and now I'm going to assemble the little clear treat box. Now, they come in a packet, and every single one of them has a protective film on it. So before you do anything else, you need to take off that piece of protective film. Okay, so there's your clear box, and it is clear. Don't know how well you can see it. The lights are reflecting off it quite nicely there. And before I start sticking things onto it or putting anything into it, I'm just going to train all of these folds, because acetate is, you know, it can be cheeky. And I'm working the folds both ways, both directions, to make sure that everything folds the way I want it to. I've trained all of my folds very well. I'm going to work on it with it flat just to begin with, and I'm going to just check where I want that to come. Okay, so I'm going to stick it onto the box, and the tires are going to be on the bottom edge there. Okay, so I want to put, I'm using fast fuse because I want a good stick. I'm not taking it right to the very end because the truck overhangs the box slightly. Okay, so let's pop that into place just like that. Yeah. And now turn it over, and same again on with the fuse. Now, I've mentioned before, the trick to using fuse is to have a light touch, okay, because as soon as that tape hits the paper, it's stuck, and a flick to break the adhesive. Flick. Oops, it's so sticky, it even sticks to itself like that. Okay, let's get that out of the way before I do any more damage. Okay, so this is going to line up just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to close up my box. So I'm going to put that bit and that bit in first, then that piece, and then that bit, and I'm going to flip it over and just push everything down on the inside, and now my box is closed and locked. And now I'm going to fill it with some stickers. And there we are. We have a truck full of tasty treats. And there is my tasty treat box full of tasty treats. So what do you think? I think that's rather a cute way of giving somebody, you know, a tasty treat. Why not? So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if so, then please don't forget to like, comment, share, and to subscribe to my channel. I will be posting more very soon. I'd love it if you'd hop on over to my Facebook page and leave me a picture of what you've been up to. I would really, really like to see it. And it's also a good way to get in touch with me if you're interested in becoming a Stampin' Up demonstrator, because I am looking to recruit people into my team. So if you'd like to join me, then by all means do get in touch with me. But that is it for now. I do thank you very, very much for joining me, and I hope that I will see you again soon. Bye bye.